The Indiana Pacers finally had an opportunity to get some get back on the New York Knicks, hosted them in a wire to wire playoff game 3 shenanigan in Indiana's field house. I mean, this series is the one for me.
When I tell you the physicality alone is must see TV, I'm just going to be honest. It's must see TV. At the end of the day, whichever team advances, be it the Pacers or the Knicks, they will go into the next round. How? I'm sorry, beat up, nicked and tucked. They're gonna be tired. I'm just saying. Everybody is getting beat up. They're getting beat up by the players. They're getting beat up by their court, the floor, the floor of the court. Eh, You name it. They're getting by the stands. The fans is getting beat up. Everybody is getting some. If you're sitting on court side, you're gonna get ran into. It's just
Mm-hmm.
I am here
Wow.
for all of it.
Yeah. So did you notice Coach Rick Carlisle's memo to the NBA making any difference in the game? In fact, I think it actually hyped up some of the physicality though, or maybe I'm just looking at it differently since I know he sent the memo. I don't know.
I think you're looking at it differently, or maybe you're more aware of it because he sent the memo. At the end of the day, he put the NBA on notice that I see what y'all are doing and stop it in this series.
Uh-huh.
That don't even matter.
Yeah.
Who else is going to advocate for his players if he don't do it? Who else is going
Yeah,
to do
that's
it?
true.
If he sees something that's a miss, he has a right as a coach to at least advocate for that. Whether found it to be true or not, don't mean he still can't do it. So I'm here for it. Good for him. And if it's
Yeah.
going to change how the refs are repping the game and how they're calling the calls and swallowing the whistle or not, making sure that it's even on both sides, and that's just what it is. It is what it is. I love
Yeah,
it.
but check the NBA was like, yeah, we hear you, but here's a $35,000 fine to go along with that. But
It don't matter.
he ain't worried about that. They got the win
No,
last night, right? That's what he wanted.
doesn't matter. At the end of the day, they're looking to go to the next round because they want to go to the round after that. It doesn't matter. Mm. But
Hmm.
see,
Okay, so
this all
mhm.
makes this all makes the journey so profound. Not profound. This all makes the journey so interesting in their quest to become uh, NBA champions, right? So I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, so Tyrese Halliburton was able to put together two really good games back to back. He might be back, but it looks like his back might be giving out because he landed square on someone's knee. Like it was, oh man, I felt the pain through the TV. I said, oh my God, for a guy who already has a very tender back to land on someone's knee, to land on the hardwood floor the way that he did last night, I
I
said,
told you.
wow.
I
Whew.
told you. I told you. Not only him, probably going to be compromised slightly, right? Because he's still dealing with, he's still going to be compromised. Dante DiVincenzo, he did that fall, and he got his tailbone ate up by the court. I said, "See, this is they all." Jalen Brunson again goes down. Everybody going down. Everybody's going down. You can't have these star core players go down like this. But the game is so physical. It really is. And the reason why is because I think the Pacers, when they switched who was going to be guarding Jalen Brunson, they put Neesmith on him. Now, did it stop Jalen Brunson from getting his? Not necessarily, but it did slow him down a bit. It did cost him more turnovers than he normally has. And I like the fact that Neesmith is guarding or defending against Jalen Brunson. I like that change that the Pacers did. I like that.
Yeah, that was the biggest adjustment right there. Yeah, I think he
Yeah,
had 3 turnovers when Neesmith
yeah.
was guarding him, and he's already playing on 1 foot,
That's what I'm talking
Jalen
about.
Brunson. Yeah, but like you said,
Mhm.
it don't matter who they put on him, you ain't gonna stop him, right? He still pulled down 26 points, had 6
Mhm.
assists. I did find him sitting on the bench a little bit more than usual. Speaking of that, Josh Hart finally got 4 minutes of rest time in this game. I couldn't believe it. I said, "What?"
He
Tibbs
needs to
had the
get it.
guts to pull Josh Hart out.
I'm telling you right now, it's either the short term game or the long term game. And Thibodeau gonna have to figure out how he can balance both. Because if he don't do it, the Pacers matchup is so physical that if the Knicks advance to the Eastern Conference Finals, they are to be beat up. And I don't know if Josh Hart will be able to play 48 minutes again for another potentially 7 game series. That is a lot.
Mhm.
And then with a desire to go to the finals, nah, he's gonna have to get more rest. I got the little 4 minutes. Thank you for starting there, but I'm gonna need him to get a little bit more. Because what
Mhm.
I appreciate about everybody on the Knicks, this is what I appreciate about them. There is no time off. Once the game begins until the game is ended, they are at 110% capacity. 110. Always. Every play, every time. You cannot deny that. And you can see it when you're watching the games. Every time, Josh Hart is going to be up in everybody's face. He's going to get the rebound. He will get the rebound. He's going to get the rebound. So if you want to beat him on the glass, you're going to have to find somebody on the Pacers that's going to be able to match that. Because Josh Hart will get the rebound. It's amazing to me.
Shit,
So
I
him
know
getting
he.
4 minutes of rest is a nice start, but I need him to get more if we're talking about next series. I'm just saying.
Yeah, he pulled down 18 boards. We talked about Miles Turner being as big as he is and only having a few, but last night he pulled down 10 rebounds. I think he had an all-around really good game, 21 points, but I
Yeah.
love to see Pascal Siakam back doing what he does. He battled foul
Yeah.
trouble for most of the game. I said, "Oh man, that's the last thing the Indiana Pacers need." But he managed to finish the game, so I was impressed with that. The only
Yeah.
thing that really disappointed me was Nimhard, right? I know he probably wasted a lot of energy on defense because I think they also put Nimhard, they switched up
Yeah.
Nimhard, Neesmith on Jalen Brunson. So,
Mhm.
but the funny thing with Nimhard is he scored that three at the very end, and it was like
Oh.
his first bucket of the game or something. It was crazy. I
The
said,
funny
wow.
thing about it, he was one of three from the 3 point line. And that one is the one he won that was a critical three. It got them back in the game. I think it either tied the score. I think it tied it. I think his three made his late game three tied the score. But what's funny is that I said to myself, if that Nemhard put up one more bucket, I mean, if he put up one more 3 pointer that
Brick.
don't go in, because it was
Yeah.
one more brick, because it was like back to back. I said, if he don't stop shooting, but you know what those
Mhm.
shooters shoot, right? And so that third one he put up went in. The look on his face was like, ooh, it actually did. I don't even think he was prepared for it to go in. No, he
Yeah.
was not prepared for it, but he knew he was running out of time, so he had to throw it up. And for it to go at that time, it was just so timely. So not only to finally get a three to drop, but the three to drop that was perfect timing for the Knicks to put. I think it tied the game at that point was amazing for his confidence. So because he needed that, and what I'm saying, what I see from the Knicks is that we're talking about next man up mentality. I think the Knicks really embodies that, especially in this series, because considering how many starters that they have out right now, they got a lot of them, and so Tibbs has to go deep into the bench, and I think the whole culture. We talk about heat culture, but I think Knicks have a specific culture as well. And that culture drives who's ever on that particular roster to have some type of grit, some type of hustle, and some type of on switch that once the game starts, until you are no longer on the court, you have to play at 110%. I think that's what it is. So they have their own
Mhm.
culture as well.
Yeah, and that comes down from Tibbs. It was interesting that he put Burks in. I was like, okay, Burks dropped an egg in the last game,
Mm-hmm.
but he was able to really help with 14 points off the bench. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, Miles McBride got a chance to hit his
Mm-hmm.
3 pointers, some very critical shots. And so yeah, I'm happy to see Tibbs, put a little bit of faith in his bench. He could probably go a little deeper and give Shake Milton some runs. He tried Jericho Sims. That probably didn't work out too well, but as the starters go down, everybody's nicked up, banged up, as you say. Yeah, he's gonna have
Mm-hmm.
to. No choice but to. However, Obi Toppin disappeared in this game. I don't know what happened. Usually get way more than 2 points from Obi Toppin.
Right.
He's having
Right.
himself
No,
a
I agree.
great series.
Yeah, maybe he was just having an off night, and it's okay. It really is okay because his 2 points that he lacked, Don DiVincenzo found them. He found them. Yeah, early in the game. Can we just speak about Dante real quick? Wait a minute. One of the commentators said, "Ooh, Dante's Inferno." I said, "Exactly. He's
Yeah.
on fire. He is on fire. He couldn't miss. Like this is what I'm saying about the Nova Knicks. I can't keep. I gotta go there. Josh Hart, Dante, and Jalen Brunson, something about the trio is super special. And if Jalen Brunson, for some reason, has to sit out, Dante DiVincenzo are going to hold. They can all hold their own, which is, if you think about all of them holding their own, is a strategy for success. It's like it. Now, I know they lost this game. I get it. But what I'm saying is that what they produce in this game, they'll do it in the next game. They'll do it in the next game. You can always count on them for being on. It's just that the Pacers had it in their favor this particular game to win, and they worked hard to get it. Ooh, the Pacers worked hard to get it. So,
Yeah. DiVincenzo was the game's leading scorer with
yeah.
35 points. And man, he was so hot from three, 7 of 11. But I'm like, wait a minute now. Between him and Jalen Brunson, they shot the ball 52 times. Seems like a lot.
How much you want them to shoot the ball? You always got a comment about somebody shooting the ball a lot. Who else gonna do it?
Well, Josh
How,
Hart got 7 attempts.
what
Precious Achua, he out there doing cardio. Come on now. Isaiah Hartenstein, you mean tell me your big body in the paint only got 4 field goal attempts? That's not good. When you got Jalen Brunson and DiVincenzo shooting the ball 52 times, the Nova Knicks totaled 71 of the Knicks 106 points. It just feels like they're very focused on, those 3 players scoring all of the points. And
because
it's just not a recipe for success going forward, is all I'm saying.
they have the hot hand. They have the hot, and they have the hot trusted hand. I think that's what it is. So you want to take the ball out of their hand and give it to somebody that you don't trust right now. Right now in this series, I can understand why they're always holding the ball. I get it. I get it. We can't try out someone else right now. The trying and testing should have happened during the regular season, and it didn't. That's why we're here today. You know. That's how I see
Okay.
it. And I don't think
Mhm.
the coach staff for the New York Knicks want to take a chance to say, y'all, you guys, less touches for you, more for everybody else. And then they lose? No. Not right now. Not at this stage. Not at this stage. So that's kind of how I see it.
Okay. So the Indiana Pacers finally got a win. So now the New York Knicks have a 1-game lead on the Pacers. The series is 2-1. There's another game in Indiana in a couple of days. And I just don't know. I hope the players are well rested. Hope they stay off of their feet. I don't know how they can recover and get back on the court so soon. I mean, because this series,
I'm
drag down,
telling
beat
you.
down, fight in a bar.
Absolutely. No,
Mhm.
absolutely. We get touched.
All right, so let's move on to the next game. The Denver Nuggets needed to win this game. This was a must-win game on the road for the defending champions, and they played like it. I mean, we're talking about a 27-point blowout. I think the Minnesota Timberwolves felt real good going home 2-0 and took their foot off of the gas. I think they took a sigh of relief. I know they didn't think the Denver Nuggets were just going to lay down, especially not being led by Coach Michael Malone. Please,
No.
I know they didn't
Mm-mm.
think that.
No, and I think that the Timberwolves said, we're going to be at home. We already won 2 in their house. Ain't no way to get one from us in ours. And the Nuggets said, y'all don't even know us yet. I just think that they had a chance. I think that the 2 losses gave the Nuggets a come to Jesus moment. And I think Michael Malone got in their nerves. And he, you know, and had to kind of remind them of, who they were and what they can produce. And so that's what we saw. Finally, I think Jamal Murray got out of his feelings and put himself more into his skill, because we were able to see him finally come, flourish in this 3rd game. Because the first 2, I was like, what is going on with Jamal Murray?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
finally in game 3, he said, I believe, he said, all right, my feelings are over. I've already been fined $100,000. I got it. I got it. Let me get back to basketball. And I think that's what we were able to see, because they figured something out. And this is the Nuggets that I was expecting to see in game 1, if I'm going to be honest.
Yes,
Game 2, this
yes.
was the Nuggets team I was expecting to see in game 2 as well. So they finally put up in game 3. They said, you will not go 3 up on us. So I'm glad that they did that. Now we got a series. And so now I want to see what the Nuggets are going to do for the next matchup, because I really want to win that one. I want this series to go 7 games as well. Can they both go
Hmm.
7?
Okay, so we always talk about Coach Michael Malone, and he always got something up his sleeve. Well, he put together an edit of all the big talking heads saying that the Wolves are going to sweep the Denver Nuggets, and oh my gosh, they're so much. The Wolves are so much better than the Denver Nuggets. Put together a nice little edit, and he said he was just going to hold it and see if he should show it to the guys. He showed it to old veteran DeAndre Jordan first. And DJ was like, oh no, you got to show this. So Coach Michael Malone showed it to the team, and this is the result. They played like the champions that they are. And I said, man, Coach Michael Malone, I would love to play for him because he just knows how to get his guys going, get their competitive juices flowing. He knows which buttons to press and how hard. He's just such a great coach.
You know what? Sometimes I think that the talking heads have some type of agenda against the Nuggets. They would never do that to the LA Lakers. They would never do that to Golden State Warriors. You know what I'm saying? Even if they were down 2 games, how they talk about them and the team that they're up against, I just don't see it happening. So there is something about the Nuggets that the talking heads, I don't think they believe in them 100%, even if they've already won a championship. And yes, the Timberwolves are balling out of control. They look really good. Anthony Edwards is looking like the face of the league and all that good stuff. But give them some respect. They are the reigning champions, nonetheless, right? They do
Yeah.
have the current third-time MVP on the roster. Come on. Come on. Stop. I don't
Hmm.
know. I
Hmm.
don't like it. They would never do Steph Curry. They would never do LeBron James like that. Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets haven't earned some type of respect. They did win a chip. It's weird to
Hmm.
me. I just think it's weird. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the thing with the Nuggets though, I just like how, it just seemed like they never get, well, with the exception of game two, I would say they never get rattled. Even in this game, to me, it was very evident early on that the Nuggets were going to win this game. The Timberwolves came out flat, but the Nuggets continued to play their game regardless, right? Coach Michael Malone didn't take out his starters until the game was basically decided. So I just like what I'm seeing from the Denver Nuggets. I'm just so glad that Jamal Murray seems to be back to himself. Michael Porter Jr., I mean, Aaron Gordon, everybody was plus in the plus minus category. And that's
Yep.
what you love to see from the Denver Nuggets.
Right. Right. No, absolutely. KCP was there doing his defensive, defensive stuff. I just think that it was what was needed. And when I see that all of the stars are in double digits, then I know that they are really working hard, you know?
Hmm. So yeah, okay. So this is a pure example. In the last game we talked about with the Pacers and the Knicks, I was talking about the field goal attempts, right? You look at the Denver Nuggets field goal attempts. It's not lopsided, is what I'm saying. Nobody's shooting the ball 26 times. No
Yeah,
one.
but that's the Denver Nuggets. Everybody on their starting lineup has their role and they understand what that is. I believe the same thing for the Knicks. We talked about the Knicks previously. At the end of the day, the Knicks, let's just be honest, the Knicks are made up of the Nova Knicks. That's what it is. They're the ones that are supposed to hold the ball, manage the ball, shoot the ball more times than anyone else. But the Nuggets have always been pretty much even keel, although Jamal Murray and Jokic will get the most, right? They're supposed to. Somebody got to get the most. I just think it's just two different teams made up of two different things, and their expectations are different. That's what I think. So
Okay, okay. That's fair. More well balanced team.
more well balanced. Yep.
Uh-huh. Okay. So Minnesota Timberwolves, I know they lost the game. And Anthony Edwards, after the game, he was like, you know what? I take full responsibility for this. I came out with no energy. We'll be better next game. That's what you want to hear from your young superstar. You don't want to
Right.
hear them blaming the refs or blaming this or blaming that or saying that why do we have a replay center and stuff like that. You want to hear your young 22-year-old, blossoming superstar take responsibility and promise to be better, especially at home in front of their fans.
Exactly. And you know who needs to take a lesson from this? Boston's Jason Tatum. What Anthony Edwards just did is what I would like to see Jason Tatum. everybody wants us to do this. Is Jason Tatum. Everybody wants us. They just don't understand that we should always be winning with the 25-point more. Always with 25 points or more. No, own that you ain't been 100%. You ain't been giving all your effort, and say it was on you, leader. Like that's what I like about Anthony Edwards. That's why he's going to end up being the face of the league because he has the right things to say. He's going to take ownership of why they did not win, and they're going to win the next time. That's what they hope to do. But don't just kind of be
Mhm.
lackadaisical about it, indifferent about it. Like it's just happen. Losses happen. What? Oh my god.
I know, be hungry, be aggressive with it. I
Yeah.
had talked about Rudy Gobert missing the last game due to the birth of his child. And I said the Wolves seem to play a little bit more free, little, up tempo. I like the way they play without Rudy Gobert. Well, Rudy came back, tipped in 6 points, 4 rebounds. Very untraditional, uncharacteristic ball game from him. Maybe he's tired from, all the excitement. But
Maybe.
I just I don't know. I know the Wolves are balling right now, but if you could just imagine them without Rudy Gobert for the long haul, they could be even better, I think.
Oh, don't say that.
I know, right? Defensive player of
Oh,
the year.
yeah, don't say that, girl. Gonna get our podcast banned. No, I'm playing,
Oh,
but
shoot.
yeah. No, I'm playing, but no,
All right. So the Denver Nuggets got the victory. Not a whole lot to be seen in this matchup other than the Nuggets just dominating the game from start to finish. Looking for them to actually tie this series up like you. I want this one to go 7 as well. Nuggets, 27-point victory. That is definitely making a statement. So we just move on. At this point, we move on.
at this point we move on, and at this point, I want to see if the Nuggets can maintain their dominance in Game 4, and if the Timberwolves will make adjustments to get another win and bring the series 3-1 in the next matchup. So I'm curious.
Okay. What did you want to ask me?
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the Knicks real quick. So now the Knicks are without so many of their starting players, Bogdanovich, um, Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle. Do
Mm-hmm.
you think that the Knicks can move on in this particular season series and for the future seasons without Julius Randle and be okay?
No. And the
Hmm.
reason being is because too much is just weighing on the Nova Knicks, those 3 players. If they had Julius Randle, then they would just be a more superior team versus whoever they play. But now I think the way that they are is kind of limited, though. Now, as great as the Nova Knicks are, I rock with them 100%. But if one of them has an off game, if Jalen Brunson has an off game, then what? Because Josh Hart is not a guy who looks for his shot. DiVincenzo is, but you need a complement of those 3 players in order to be successful. With Julius Randle, we can afford to have one of them, even Jalen Brunson for that matter, to be off, and maybe they'll still win the game. Without Jalen
I
Brunson, they lose 100%.
I buy that for the regular season. I struggle with Julius Randle in the postseason. And I don't know if him being on the court right now, again, this is all speculation. This is just a conversation. Considering his collapses in the previous seasons that they had where he was on the court, would he? I just wonder if they would be as successful if he was playing right now. Postseason run, not regular
Mhm.
season. Julius Randle postseason. Interesting. Hmm.
Okay. Well, I can't wait to
Remains to be
see him
seen.
suit it
I
up.
know.
Yeah, I
It
just
remains
can't
to be
wait.
seen once he comes back for the next season. You know, and then with OG Ananobi, the dynamic when Julius Randle comes back and OG gets back healthy for the 2025 season, the whole dynamic of the Knicks is going to change because they got to now make sure that Julius Randle eats, OG Ananobi going to have to eat, and the Nova Knicks going to have to eat. So that means that technically Dante DiVincenzo going to be put back on the bench because that's where he was at first.
Hmm. I don't know if Tibbs would go that far. I think OG, maybe OG can
What?
go to the bench. Yeah. I think
Hmm.
OG can go to the bench. You throw Julius Randle back, and then you have the Nova Knicks and Isaiah Hartenstein.
Okay. I cannot wait. I can't wait.
Mm-hmm.
If they
Okay.
win the championship, you think that the Knicks would consider shopping Julius Randle to another team? I wonder.
No, no way.
No. You
No
got OG.
way.
Isn't that why they brought in OG when Julius Randle went out? OG came in and
Ah,
took his spot.
they're different players, though. I think Julius
Okay.
Randle is another hustler, right? That's
Mhm.
two Josh Harts out there.
Yeah. And ooh, and that big body Julius Randle. Y'all think y'all beat up now? Let that big body be in. He gonna take
For
some folks
real.
out. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So what's going on tonight? What's up? What we got going?
Well, tonight, game 3 for Thunder and Mavericks. The series will be hosted in Dallas, and the Thunder and the Mavericks are tied 1-1 in this series. And so let's see who's going to go up 2-1. That's what this is all about. And I really am rooting for OKC, honestly. I'm rooting for OKC. I
Mm,
want them to win. I want
me
them to win.
too. I want them to win. But the biggest mistake was allowing the Mavs to get one win. First of all, I want to see how the Thunder will respond after taking their first L in the playoffs. Because you remember, they swept the first round, and this is their first taste of defeat in the playoffs. How will they recover?
And if I'm not mistaken, they may have been on like a 10-game win streak, if I include regular season. So they haven't lost in a minute. Not in the
Mm-hmm.
postseason and not as late in the regular season. So I don't know what they're going to do different. Because really, this is about do you guys have you lost your confidence or have you guys shaken this loss off, made some adjustments to make sure you're better for this particular matchup where you can come and be victorious and bring the series 2-1 in your favor? I wonder.
Mm-hmm.
Can't
Okay.
wait to
And
see it.
I know, right? Who else playing?
The Celtics and the Cavaliers.
You know what? If the Cavs, if this was 2-0, I promise you, this series would not be worth watching.
You know, what concerns me about this series is that it's not physical enough. So then when I'm talking about whoever comes out of this series, be it the Cavaliers or the Boston Celtics, they will not be beat up. But whoever comes out of that Pacers and Knicks series will be beat up. So they're going to be playing against a team that's less damaged. That's my concern. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. I was thinking that the other day. I'm like, well, first of all, Cleveland and Boston, that wholesome game we be watching, you know,
It's
can they be
wholesome.
over in 5 at this point? No, I'm saying they're gonna if they're not gonna
Yeah,
give me no if I can't I, yeah, this series is not giving it to me. I just want to say that, but maybe because the other ones are so like
I
I
know.
don't know. It's
I'm
just
with you on it. I'm telling you, it wouldn't be worth watching. I'm surprised the Cavs got a win in Boston.
this is
I'm
mind.
just blown by that. So
Are
because
you
they did,
serious?
yeah, I need to see the Boston Celtics and how they will respond. Because coming in at the number one seed, you just gonna let the Cavs get a victory? You just gonna finish this thing out? We gonna finish it out in
Well,
Cleveland and come home?
if I'm going in with what Jason Tatum uh, gave to us in his post game discussion, then I'm indifferent about it. You know, we just it's just a game. I left his discussion feeling like he was like, it's just a game, y'all. We got it. Don't even worry about it. What? This is the playoffs. What are you talking about? He was too nonchalant for me. He just was.
Hmm.
I
Well,
did, I
I
did,
think
I
the
didn't I didn't
Celtics.
I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it. Like
Mhm.
what? Mm,
Well, the Celtics get bored easy. We all know that, and maybe they're not feeling challenged by this matchup. That
maybe,
could be it
maybe.
too. They're
I
already
hope.
looking into the Eastern Conference Finals where they're probably hoping to play the New York Knicks. You know, I think they're
Okay,
overlooking the Cavs.
I think so too. Oh, shame on the calf and all that sweat that Donovan Mitchell put out there. It don't matter. Can the series be? I'm over the series. I'm just gonna say it. I'm over the series, and whoever comes out of it, it will be an upset though. if the Boston Celtics allow the Cavs to get one over on them. They better come
I
ready to
agree.
play because the Cavs are ready to play. Boston, come on now. You should really be sweeping the Cavs. That's how I feel about it. And you're not. So yeah, that's the last matchup of today.
Nah, okay. All right. I'm going with Boston. I'm going with Boston to get a 2-1. What am I saying? I'm going with the
Exactly.
Boston Celtics in tonight's game.
Me too. They better. They have to.